ChatGerry, music listening and lowering blood pressure to reduce stroke risk. Number 1441, November 18, 2025. Gerald C. EclaireMD Foundation. Category: Stroke. This short study comes from my own experience as a stroke survivor. On June 21, 2025, I had a hemorrhagic stroke in the pons area of my brainstem. It happened because a tiny blood vessel broke after an emotional event, pushed my blood pressure up to 175 mmHg. After recovering, I started studying my own blood pressure patterns to understand what really causes danger for me. I discovered that my stroke risk does not come from long-term average blood pressure. It comes from a single sudden spike. During the 143 days after my hospitalization, I measured my blood pressure 2,288 times. Out of all these measurements, only 10 were between 140 and 149 mmHg. This made something very clear: my danger zone starts only when my systolic blood pressure goes above 100 mmHg. If I avoid sudden spikes, I can avoid another stroke. This led me to ask a simple question: can something as easy as listening to music lower my blood pressure enough to reduce risk? To find out, I created a small experiment. I compared two short 30-minute periods, each with one blood pressure reading every 5 minutes. One period was right after a stressful event. The other period was during continuous music listening. Before comparing the two periods, I created a baseline called P0. This baseline used healthy standard values so that both tests started at the same point. Then I measured how my systolic blood pressure, SBP, diastolic blood pressure, DBP, and pulse pressure, PP as SBP minus DBP, changed during the 30 minutes. The results were clear. Under stress, my SBP averaged 21% higher than during music listening. DBP was 24% higher and PP was 17% higher. When I calculated the combined effect using my viscoplastic energy model, the total energy load of the stressful period was about 9% higher than the music period. Even though these numbers seem small, they matter greatly for stroke risk. A higher energy load means more tension on my small cerebral arteries, including the ones that almost killed me. Music helps the body relax in many ways. It slows down the fight or flight system, lowers cortisol, quiets the fear center of the brain, activates the frontal lobe, increases calming chemicals, reduces pain, and slows breathing. All of these changes work together to bring blood pressure down. What surprised me was how fast the effect appeared. In less than 30 minutes, the blood pressure pattern under music shifted into a smooth, steady downward path. The stressful pattern did the opposite. It jumped up and down inside a high-pressure zone, and showed no sign of settling. When I looked at the geometric patterns using topology, the difference became even clearer. The stressful trajectory formed a messy zigzag in the high-pressure region. The music trajectory formed a straight, clean line, going downward into a safe zone. This kind of combined energy and geometric pattern matters, because hemorrhagic stroke risk is not driven by averages. It is driven by sudden peaks. One sharp spike can rupture a weakened vessel. Music helped lower those peaks for me. Another small detail also helped. I recently switched from AirPods to Shock's bone conduction earphones. They keep my ears open, reduce ear fatigue, and let me hear the environment for safety. This makes the listening experience more relaxing, and lowers my stress even further. In conclusion, my experiment shows that music can lower blood pressure quickly and meaningfully. Even 30 minutes makes a difference. For a stroke survivor like me, this is not just interesting, it is important. Music gives me another simple, safe, and effective way to protect myself from another dangerous blood pressure spike. It is something anyone can try, and it may help more people than we realize. Disclaimer: I write this paper not for fame, but to share what I have learned so others can understand their health, prevent disease, and live longer, healthier lives. This content is provided for educational reference only, and does not constitute medical or financial advice. No doctor-patient or advisor-client relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered, edited, or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to the author, Gerald C.